I should set it up so that I can play the intro for us, so that it. Yeah, and then, yeah. You don't want the war. We don't want the war. Right. Exactly. Couldn't have done it better myself.
You don't want the war. We don't want the war. So why does it go on? Sounds like you're talking about a wild animal.
Maybe I am.
But this threat is a nuclear threat.
The most terrifying words in the English language are, I'm from the government and I'm here to help. I call upon all nations to stop these terrorist killers. Progress is drive.
I don't know what's wrong with you young people. You think you just fell out of a coconut tree?
It depends upon what the meaning of the word is. Yes. Russia, Russia, Russia. That was all bullshit. You can jail a revolutionary, but you can't jail a revolutionary.
It's time to pass down if there's freedom in the United States that there isn't in any other country. And it's the freedom to produce a socialist movement or a socialist party that doesn't exist elsewhere. And why don't you have one? I'm trying.
Yeah, welcome to Chairmen Lmao. We're going to start the episode now. I'm David.
I'm Jay. Hey, y'all. Good to see you. It's been a while. I got sick. I went to New York. I expected free buses. There weren't free buses there.
Yeah, what's up with that? So is it because it's just not in effect yet, or what's going on?
Yeah, they're hoping to put that together in the future, but they have this like huge multi-billion-dollar budget gap, and a lot of the things that Zoran Mamdani used in his campaign ended up getting postponed, including the buses. Some stuff did work, like he did get the rent freeze, but he's still putting together the budget for the buses, it would appear.
I see. Okay. I see.
Yeah. And then, I don't know, every time I'd get on a bus in New York, I'd be like, isn't this shit supposed to be free? And everyone on the bus would be like, eh.
Of course. Of course.
Yeah.
I mean, on some level, I mean, how much do people really expect they're getting, you know, with someone like Mamdani? I think young people are really excited about him.
Man, I still want those free buses. I even said that in our first episode.
Right.
It's not enough, but I still want it. I mean, even fascism like aimed to create good public services for some of its people.
What did they say? At least Mussolini made the trains run on time?
Yeah. I don't know. Those Japanese trains run great. Always have.
Yeah. You know, I think especially in a place like New York, it's just really strange to me that they don't want to fund the buses. Like, it's like weird.
Yeah. I don't know. I love that city. The people there are incredible, but I don't really love spending time there. Just, it's dirty. It's loud. I'm too autistic for New York, man. It's too much for me. Yeah. I like it. I like the people there a lot, though. I think the people that live there are really tough and funny in a way that most people aren't. I don't know.
Yeah, I can definitely appreciate that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so you've been sick. You've been in New York. I heard it was hot, too.
Yeah, I had that stomach issue, the Colorado salad stomach issue.
Ooh.
I had that. It was bad.
Yeah.
Then after that, I had some sort of flu. And it was 110 degrees and humid in New York, so it was rough. Honestly, not how I would have planned the trip.
No, these people in like these coastal cities and stuff, they don't understand like the value of the dry air.
I like dry.
Yeah,
dry is nice. But honestly, my hair was looking good in New York. It got all wavy.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, especially as a curly-haired person, like
mine gets a little wavy.
Yeah, when I used to travel for work, I'd go to Florida and I would be like, wow, my hair just feels awesome after a week. And then I'd come back to Colorado and my hair would dry up.
No amount of coconut oil is going to do that to my hair.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a fun trip, but it was hot. I wasn't really ready for it. We saw the Buena Vista Social Club Broadway show, that like Cuban musical. It was really good. Yeah,
Nice.
my girlfriend.
Nice. I don't know anything about it.
It's like this album that was made in the 90s with a bunch of like old school Cuban jazz cats.
Mm-hmm.
They kind of got them all together for one last go. Some of them are still alive, but they're all like 100 now. But the musical is kind of about the scene in Cuba around the revolution and the music that came out at that time.
Yeah.
And, how there were kind of two scenes, like the scene that was being, put forward globally, and then the scene that was, at the local clubs. Buena Vista Social Club was like a club for locals. So, there was a lot of stress about if people are going away, there's this revolution happening. It's not safe to be here anymore. And it was really emotional. It was really about time, the passage of time, how much older they had all been since they had last seen each other. Because these are like the old jazz cats that really influenced the scene in Cuba. But they all came together in the 90s to put one more album together because of this one jazz student that was working with them and had coordinated this whole album with all these songs that were very meaningful to Cuba. Incredible play. I'm not a Broadway show guy. I don't know. I think a lot of it's very corny, but that was not corny at all to me. I was crying the whole time.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'll have to check that out for sure.
Yeah, at least listen to the album Buena Vista Social Club.
Oh yeah,
From
okay.
the 90s. It's really, really good.
Right on.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Did you want to talk about, let's see here. Did you want to say anything else about the buses in New York or
Yeah, totally.
Transportation in general? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it makes more sense to tax the people that need the workers to show up than it does to get the money from the workers for these buses. There's this whole squeeze happening right now when people pay for their own bus rides to get to work, where that onus falls on the worker instead of on the employer. And I think that the way Mamdani's aiming to fix this doesn't really take that onus off of the worker. It's taking pension away from retired folks, but those are folks that have worked, and it's not really taxing the folks that own these companies.
Yeah, my understanding is that in order to allocate money for the transportation budget, he's deferring payments into city workers' pension funds into some 2030s.
Yeah,
right?
1.6 billion per year. It's a lot.
Yeah, that is a lot. And so that money has to come from somewhere at a later date.
Yeah.
In order to make sure that,
they're pushing it back to 2037, which is pretty far away.
That sounds pretty dubious.
Yeah. That's, 11 years.
Yeah, and if I'm a worker, I'd rather pay for the bus and have a pension than the other way around. Like if I'm a New York City worker.
I mean, to be real, those bus fares matter in New York because no one has a car. You're spending $10 a day on buses.
That's right.
Each ride's $3. You're spending $12 a day to get to work and go get, one other thing every other day.
But it's my boss's problem if I can't afford to get to work. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Because how am I going to work for him if I can't show up?
Totally. But that's a lot of money every day. That's $200 a month, at least. Maybe like $150. I don't know what they're charging for the monthly pass these days, but
right. Yeah.
It's still a big cost to be passed on to the worker. And when I had a unionized job in New York, there were programs through the union to get your bus fare covered.
Really?
Yeah, I could get my bus fare covered through the union when I was a doorman.
That's cool. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That worked pretty all right. But
Yeah.
most jobs aren't unionized in New York. You know, if you work at a restaurant, you're still taking the subway there.
A lot of the city jobs in New York are unionized, though. Is that right?
The city jobs?
Yeah, like this job. Yeah, like for the city of New York.
Well, yeah,
I know it's pretty like splintered, but
it's like anywhere else, but they have a lot of public works. You know, like there's a lot of parks and bridges and
right.
various other buildings that need service through a public works department.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. Without the whole pension thing, it's not coming out of the pockets of capitalists.
Yeah, look, I mean, I think if this were a socialist program, right, then it would be paid for out of the profits
Yeah.
of the companies that are inside of the city of New York.
You know, the thing that they bought that nice Mercedes with.
Right. That's also paying for the train now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they could probably be all right in an Acura.
Yeah, but like the best we got is like, well, we can't actually get any more money from taxpayers, and we can't actually get any more money from the corporations.
Well, no, because they're Democrats.
So we're just going to shuffle the papers around until the numbers line up. You know,
Yeah.
It's like, that is bullshit. Can we say that? It's bullshit?
It's not progressive, that's for sure.
No.
Yeah. And that's what they aim and claim to be, you know? I don't know if they aim to be progressive, but they certainly claim to be progressive.
Yeah.
I got a little too worked up about them not having free buses when I got there, honestly. But every time I'd get on a bus and I'd like turn to the folks on the bus and say, "Ain't this shit supposed to be free?" I'd get a good reaction. I think the people in New York want the free buses, man. They got to figure it out.
I mean, come on, give New Yorkers the free buses.
I'm saying,
Yeah.
that's like too much money every day to like go to work. And if you want the economy to be good, people have to be able to get places. When I was there, it was 110 degrees. You're not going to walk.
Yeah. Definitely.
It gets hot in New York in the summer. It gets cold in the winter. Do you only want people to buy things in the spring and fall? Fall is like 3 weeks.
It's a nice time to go, though.
It's the best time to go.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? That's like when you can walk around.
Yes.
Yeah.
I know what you mean.
And it's a city for walking. Like, it's built for it. But, like, damn, when it's hot out, I don't know, man. You need them buses. You need them subways.
Totally. I think
Instead of, like, all the money they spent on, like, enforcing the subway gates, they could have just made it free.
Okay.
I don't know.
Well, okay, look. That's like the number one expense of these major municipalities is law enforcement.
Yeah, system sustaining.
And they're going into all of these major cities are going into debt right now, and their number one expense is law enforcement. And it's like, could the contradiction be clearer? Not to me. I don't know. That's
right.
Yeah.
You
Okay. You want to switch gears a little bit, and I can talk about like the Mamdani rent freeze?
Yeah, totally.
All right. This is out of Time magazine. Freeze the Rent became the definitive rallying cry of Zoran Mamdani's affordability-focused mayoral campaign for New York City, one of the most expensive cities in the world. All right, how expensive is New York? Come on.
Too expensive.
For people who don't understand how expensive New York is, put it in context.
I was spending $2,400 a month on a 4th floor walk-up, no elevator. The water ran brown for a solid minute every time you turn the hot water on. Yeah, I mean, you know, it was like Upper East Side, I guess, but, you know, across the street from the projects. That's considered an incredible deal out there. I couldn't find that if I moved back today. That was 2 years ago.
Was that rent controlled?
It was.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
I mean, getting paid, mind you, the minimum wage in New York is lower than in Denver.
Yeah, that's insane to me.
Yeah.
The city's rent guidelines board, in a 7-1 vote, approved a rent freeze covering both 1-year and 2-year leases for people living in about 1 million rent stabilized apartments, which make up about 27% of the overall housing stock across New York City's 5 boroughs. So the rent freeze takes effect on October 1st and ends September 30th, 2027. So it's a 1-year rent freeze. And it hits 1/4 of overall housing across New York's 5 boroughs. That's huge. That's massive.
Well, Cuomo implemented the rent freeze because of Mamdani, right?
I don't know. I'm not that up on it.
It's
But I
important.
mean, there have been.
It's totally good work.
I know that there have been rent freezes in New York in the past for rent stabilized housing. But I just know that this is like pretty big right now. But the real problem is housing supply.
Yeah.
They're not
We talk
building.
about New York a lot, but it does matter because it's kind of the densest, biggest city in this country. The legislation that hits New York first does hit all of us.
Well, yeah, I mean, and I think it's like a useful way to think about some of the like political movements and stuff, you know.
Yeah.
Like I'm just saying that the reason why housing is too expensive in New York is because there aren't enough houses.
Yeah.
Like if there was more housing, the price of the housing in New York could come down.
Yeah.
But they're able to extract as much rent as they can because there isn't as much housing being built, which there's all kinds of barriers in place, but a lot of those barriers are in place so that they can perform rent extraction, in my opinion.
A lot of those barriers are in place so they can perform rent extraction. Yeah, they protect landlords before they protect renters pretty universally. This is unique in that case.
Well, and it's also just like very difficult to get anything new built. That's one way that they can increase the share of rent seeking is by making sure that not that much else gets built.
Cheaper rent is empowering in that you have more money to spend on other things, but
yeah,
it's not empowering in the way owning your property is.
Mm-hmm.
Or even empowering in the way that having a better relationship with your work would be.
Well, yeah, most Americans want to own a house.
Yeah, even I.
Me too.
You know? It sucks having these shitty blinds. And it's not my decision to change them.
Right.
My bathroom sink is, it needs to be worked on. I've told them, and they looked at it, and they said it was fine. It sucks living in these apartment complexes where no one gives a shit about my life day to day.
Real. Yeah, it's like, well, I mean, the prospect of paying the kind of debt that you have to take on to buy a house right now is just like insane. So,
yeah.
And again, the problem is housing supply. Like if we were building houses, they wouldn't cost so much because they're not going to build a house and not sell it to you.
Yeah. But a lot of the houses that are built are cheaply built, but then sold as luxury homes because they have modern amenities.
Okay.
So I don't know about New York, but anywhere in Colorado, you see these new suburbs popping up that are kind of slapped together with, plywood they wouldn't sell at Home Depot and press board. People will spend money on it because it has, a nice refrigerator, a nice stove, the things people look for when they tour an apartment or a house. But
Oh, I have more faith in the framers of America than that. But
I don't know. I think even the homes that people buy aren't really like built in a way that's meant to be maintainable. Like they're kind of just a commodity that's, sold like all the other crap we buy, packaged nicely.
yeah, I think there's definitely in modern home production, there's definitely some deficiencies, for sure.
Yeah.
I don't know that I would put it in like the category of like how we frame houses as much as it's like some of the other kinds of shortcuts that we want to take on like our construction, but because like wood is an abundant material that's like renewable, and even if it's like imperfect or whatever, oh, my cat is being really annoying.
Yeah, I mean, it's harder to get good wood these days because in order for wood to be straight and,
But the houses are not
Sturdy.
but the construction of the houses are not engineered in such a way that you have to have the same kind of wood that they were pulling into Victorian homes 200 years ago or whatever.
Yeah, there's rebar and concrete going in those spots that require it now.
Come here.
I don't know. I just think that there's some truth to people saying that like buying a house is not quite as good of an investment as it used to be.
Oh, it's definitely not. I mean, because, well, it is and it isn't, because the value of a home has never been higher.
Yeah.
Right. But it isn't if you can't afford it, which most people who buy homes right now cannot.
Totally. And yeah, I mean, I have friends that are like working crazy hours to try and afford buying a home because they think that they've been trapped in like a renting spiral forever. And I think a rent freeze would be very helpful for people like that.
Yeah. And to clarify, a rent freeze means that the price of their rent isn't going up. Right.
Yeah.
Not that they're
I mean, a lot of the reasons that housing is so a lot of the reason why housing is so expensive is because of the market being so populated by renters that corporations like BlackRock will come through and buy whole complexes, whole, city blocks, and say this is how much it costs to rent here now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Are you done?
Zod.
Yeah. He didn't bite me.
Zod really likes you.
Yeah.
Zod would have bit me.
Yeah, for sure. For sure he would have bit you.
I know how to piss that boy off.
Yeah, you do. I don't know what it. I mean, y'all just. I don't know. You're good. You're good buddies, but he definitely.
He plays rougher with me because he knows I can take it.
Definitely, yeah. I wanted to pull up another article on this because I just thought it was like kind of cute and funny.
Yeah,
This is from the Association of Mature American Citizens, and the title is "Mamdani's Rent Freeze Threatens Everyone Who Owns Anything." That's a pretty good title, right?
Mm-hmm.
Tenants
own your labor.
Yeah. Tenants groups and left-wing activists are cheering New York City's newly announced multi-year rent freeze. Multi-year.
Yeah, you said 1 year.
It's 1 year. So this article
Who's it by?
This is the Association of Mature American Citizens that I'm reading from.
Have I heard of them?
No, probably not. They're totally like a right-wing punditry source.
So what's the right wing supposed to believe right now?
Exactly, that's what we're reading. Well,
yeah.
So far, the right believes that it's a multi-year rent freeze, but Mayor Zohar Mamdani's rent scheme is headed for judicial smackdown at the U.S. Supreme Court. See, I haven't even heard about this. Okay.
Wow.
This is posted July 1st. In 2023 and twice in 2024, a hesitant Supreme Court declined to hear challenges by building owners to New York State's rent regulations. Lower courts had ruled the regulations diminish the value of rental properties, but the state had good reasons to balance the rights of owners with the need to protect tenants. Yeah, see, that's the thing is like, look, you're just asking. We are here asking the state to mediate between capital and labor, you know?
Yeah.
And, and I'm saying, I mean, I think, gosh, am I like agnostic on the rent freeze? I don't know if I am. Maybe I'm agnostic about the what? Oh, the dog.
I don't know. It helps workers
Yeah, definitely. Well, helps them do what?
live closer to their job,
Yeah.
which is getting your life back.
Yeah, I mean, if I can't, okay, yeah. Look, I'm going to say it again. If I can't afford my rent, that's my boss's problem.
Yeah.
It's kind of.
How are they funding the rent freeze? Is it still with the same way they were funding everything else?
Oh, no. This is the landlords are. I mean, the landlords just can't increase the prices.
But that's better, right?
Yes. Well, yes, it is better, but it's also like.
They are someone siphoning up the surplus labor off of the worker, right?
The reason why they're able to do that is because there's like not enough housing to really compete.
But is it like a not enough housing issue, or is it like all of the housing is owned by one company issue, like a monopoly issue, or a duopoly, or however many opoly there are, because there may be 4 corporations working together. Ooh, Coke and Pepsi. Soda costs $2.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sorry, my animals were maybe.
But you know what I mean?
Yeah. I do know what you mean. It's complicated, right? Because
What does the DSA think about it,
isn't this their guy?
This is their guy, so they should be happy about it. Do they think it's... I don't know.
I mean, I don't think they have like any. I don't. Well, okay. So the DSA is not very like. It's a very broad, like widely encompassing sort of tendency. Okay, it's not really a party. They're not really structured as a party right now. They're like an organization or something. And
Like, I bet they're excited that, like, the person that they put forward to elect is at least getting some results for working class people.
yeah, and well, here in Denver, Milot Kiros won, and she's like a DSA endorsed candidate.
Yeah.
Right.
That's huge.
Yeah.
She's young, too.
Yeah. I have. Look, she's probably like one of the better Democrats that could be elected. I'm not going to say she's a socialist because.
Yeah. Like, she's not fighting for a workers' movement.
Right. That's right.
I mean, that's the Marxist definition of socialism. If
right.
if you don't believe in that, you're not a Marxist. If you're not a Marxist, how socialist are you? I don't know.
Yeah. So what is she to us? Milot Kiros. She's,
I mean, she's certainly doing a better job than most.
She's
Democrats.
a bourgeois Democratic politician that's appealing to people's rad lib sensibilities. You know what I mean? And that's fine.
Yeah, what do you mean by rad lib sensibilities? Because I get it, but like...
Oh, I just mean, okay, like her stance on Palestinian liberation, her stance on, which, like, her stance is, like, her social justice stances, anti-imperialism, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Like those are...
It's certainly like hard to consider yourself an anti-imperialist within the Democratic Party.
They're the imperial party.
I mean, both kind of are, right?
I mean, historically, it's we're talking about Democrats here.
Yeah.
And of course, like like the neocon Republican turn, but like truthfully, historically, like the Republicans have wanted not to be intervention. The anti-interventionism was part of republicanism historically.
Yeah.
And would you like? So I don't know. It's not like capitalist politicians are willing to promise like a very wide range of things, which we may at one point or another find appealing. And, that's kind of the trap, right? That's how leftists become Democrats.
Yeah. Do you think we still kind of like, even within our movement, we personally rely on people acting like that to not live horrible lives while we work on our movement? Like, do you think we rely on people like Milat Kiros and Zoran Mamdani to like mediate the worst effects of capitalism while we fight against capitalism on a whole?
Yeah, actually, on some level, I think we do, and I think that like having some kind of alliance with those people is going to be big at the end of the day, right?
Yeah, we are not fighting the same fight, but we are in an alliance for sure.
No, look, if you think that I'm going to get on my knees and grovel and beg the capitalists or the Democrats or whatever for my rights or for welfare or whatever, like find another podcast. Okay. I'm not that guy. Okay.
Yeah.
If I want, look, the reason why I think, look, what I want to do is build working class power so that we can demand those things and have them, right? Not because we're begging for them. You know what I like?
That's kind of how we differentiate our view from the DSA dirty break view, right?
Yes, that's right. Let me pull up a summary on the DSA dirty break view.
Yeah, do your thing. Yeah, boy.
So the idea behind so the first thing is dirty break is a tendency within DSA, right? Mm-hmm. This is DSA strategy that is not agreed upon, although this is the main sort of most popular.
Dirty break's more popular than clean break.
Yes. Currently, dirty break is more popular than clean break, although people are constantly writing articles and making appeals to clean break now, clean break now, clean break now. Anyway, dirty break is the idea that we're going to run Democrats within the Democratic. This is from the DSA's perspective. We're going to run Democrats within the Democratic Party who are also part of our organization. And then eventually we're going to become the majority of the Democratic Party before we're able to break from the more reactionary side of the Democrats.
Yeah, and you can see that through people like Zoran Mamdani, where you're getting people who work with the DSA in the Democrats. You would vote for Zoran Mamdani after you voted for him as a Democrat, maybe, if he was an independent later on, but not unless you already knew who he was because he ran as a Democrat until that point.
Yeah, I hate this garbage. I just...
Yeah, I mean, you're more of a Eugene Debs guy.
Like, what, are we just going to ride out like another 4 crises of capitalism?
I mean, that is what the Democrats want.
Yeah. I mean, look, it's not...
What was that?
Right. I want to put workers in power to manage capitalism, right? I want the working class, I want the working class in power to manage capitalism. Okay.
Yeah, that makes more sense than a dirty break, right?
Yeah. But like that, sorry, I'm just like, I'm just beyond frustrated. I'm just so frustrated. I don't even know what to say.
I guess this is kind of the Luxembourg-Kotsky disagreement, right?
Maybe. Well, pretty difficult historical comparison to draw, considering, look, the difference, even then, right? Like, there was, in fact, like a working class movement for socialism at the point in time when Rosa and Kautsky were disagreeing about like how exactly to handle questions of like the party, you know? And now we're in this point where it's like there is no working class movement for socialism in the imperial core of capitalism. So like we could try to reconstitute it, or we can hire bourgeois politicians to try and handle capitalism.
Yeah.
And I'm like, obviously I'm in favor of like a working class movement for socialism, but like, where are the workers? You know?
Yeah, I mean, where are the jobs for the workers to do?
I mean, people are working.
Yeah, but we don't really manufacture anything, so it's not going to be manufacturing.
It doesn't
You know,
happen.
like a lot of people right now kind of say if you're broke, you should study a trade, you should get into carpentry, woodwork, like, I don't know, you know, kind of study a trade and that'll get you a career. But I think this is another myth of capitalism, right? It's the same thing as go learn code, which is what we were being told 15 years ago.
I mean, people are going to find jobs in those trades. They will.
Yeah, maybe it's not exactly the same. It's a little better.
Yeah, look, it's a question of, I don't know. What's like an example in your, I mean, I'll just say this. I think that any job you're doing that reproduces capital is like an integral part of capitalism, actually.
Yeah.
And I don't care
From
how,
McDonald's to SpaceX.
yeah, I don't really care how frivolous it seems.
Yeah.
So there's that. Beyond all of that, like, much of global capital is controlled here in the United States. Even if,
A lot of these companies are headquartered here because we're, I don't know. Why do you think we still hold that position? Is it because it's because capitalists are able to hold a lot of power here, or do you think it's because we have a, I guess, history of I don't even know. Why do you think we hold that power still in America?
well, it's the new, it's imperialism, right? But it's not imperialism in like the king conquering countries sort of way, right?
It's in an empire's way.
Yeah, I mean, it isn't. Yes, it isn't. Yes, it is in an empire's sort of way, right? But it's like this marriage of like the corporate and the state. Imperialism is seeking like a new market, kind of.
What do you mean by that?
Imperialism comes about because the capitalists have to export the exploitation of labor, right? They've run out of labor markets to exploit, and so they move it somewhere else, right? And then they become
there's plenty of copper in America, but we don't mine any of it here.
Right. And exactly. And why?
Because we want clean land without copper mines, and we don't want to work in the copper mines.
Because it's cheaper to hire someone to dig up copper in another part of the world is why.
Yeah, I'm not going to do it for $10 an hour, but someone in Senegal might.
They'll do it for less. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot less likely.
Yeah.
But that's the consequence of imperialism, right? Is these like insane, like human exploitation schemes that kind of come into play, and all
As
these.
long as someone somewhere on Earth is willing to be exploited more than you, they'll find a way to make that person do the job instead of you.
Right, which
It's
is
kind of why we think that socialism needs to be globalized, because they'll just send it to the most exploitable place otherwise.
yeah. Look, if you can't coordinate international proletarian socialism, they will just hire people who will do it cheaper.
Yeah, we saw this in the early 2000s in China, and we see it now in India and Pakistan and all these other countries that are now manufacturing all of what we use here.
The other thing I was going to say about American imperialism, right, is like capitalist imperialism really begins in Britain.
Oh my God, imagine a world if England never existed just for a moment. Imagine all of the peacefully living indigenous people around the entire fucking globe. I'm sorry.
I mean, we probably would have done capitalism. We probably would have done capitalism anyway, is my opinion. But
Yeah, I mean, if it wasn't England, it would have been, the Dutch folks, the Spanish folks, the French folks, the German folks.
China, Japan,
Eventually.
Yeah. But the thing is, I mean, there's no rise of Britain without the heavy exploitation of China and the East, India,
especially for England.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So, but like after the World War, right? Like Germany is paying reparations to France and England, and France and England are paying the United States back for their involvement in the World War, and Germany is borrowing money at the same time from the United States to pay back France and Britain. So
yeah,
much of the like debt and currency between these imperialist nations like sort of shifts from the UK to the US in this time.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. World War II was the transfer of power from the UK to the US, no doubt. Because they got bombed to shit and they had to focus on rebuilding.
Oh yeah, I mean, and Churchill was not at all happy with the way that the empire of the United Kingdom was sort of carved up after World War II. He didn't find it very favorable.
Yeah, I mean, that's where we get Israel from.
Right.
Yeah, imagine a world with no England, man. I'm saying, just imagine. It would be so good. Instead, they don't even use those spices. I'm sorry. The fuck do they want cardamom for?
But yeah, I think that the rise of, I mean, why did we start talking about imperialism?
I think we were talking about Kotsky and Luxembourg, and then somehow we got on that. Imperialism.
Yeah, I mean, look, we're going to be sold on anti-imperialism from these bourgeois politicians, but the bourgeois politicians do not want to divest from imperialism. They don't. The only class that is capable of divesting from capitalist imperialism over time is the international proletariat.
And this isn't even like third worldism. Like, this isn't even like Maoism.
This is not Maoism.
Yeah.
This is not Maoism, and this is certainly not third worldism.
Yeah.
Where,
like, as much as we are saying that workers all over the world need to be empowered in order for us to be empowered, we are not saying that like we have to wait for everything else to start. I don't know.
I don't think that there's like a material basis for socialism on the struggle of the third world alone.
Yeah, the people in power don't care enough about that.
No, and also the way that like law enforcement technology is going, they can turn the labor exploitation inward eventually.
Yeah, anything
Leaving
that
the third
happens
world
against Palestinians eventually is turned on us.
Right.
I mean, the IDF trains many police forces across the U.S.
I mean, look, let's just get in touch with our leftist dystopian fiction writing here, okay? Like, let's get real 2049 Blade Runner or whatever with it. Like,
Cue the synthwave.
if you can't exploit the third world anymore because they are trying to do socialism in the third world, but you have the fascism technology, you can just exploit the first world, like the labor force within the first world.
Yeah, you'll be eating dandelions and working 80-hour weeks.
Right, within the core of capital.
Yeah.
Like the good old days.
Like 100 years ago.
Like,
Like the pre-World War II era.
yeah, like, well, like, think textile production in Britain, like where
But
children.
a lot of people point to that time in America and see JFK as the guy that got us out of it, right?
I'm talking much earlier.
Mhm.
And JFK didn't get us out of much because Vietnam happened directly after.
Fair.
And Nixon got us out of Vietnam. God damn it.
For all his flaws, yeah, sure.
He did.
I don't know. The Democrats are no less pro-war than the Republicans. I've said this the whole time.
They're no less pro-war than the Republicans.
They're as pro-war as the Republicans.
Oh yeah.
Drone strikes were still bad under Obama.
Yeah, it's certainly bad on both ends. Like the war on terror was awful. Like really, really bad under Bush.
You think that it wouldn't have been? I mean, maybe, yeah, Al Gore certainly, maybe it wouldn't have been.
It might not. I mean, God only knows if Al Gore could have kept us from getting involved in any of that bullshit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I
don't think God knows that one.
Yeah, that's beyond me. But the point would be here that I don't know, these wars are just gonna fucking happen.
Wars are a tough thing because they don't really fit into the external wars of America. I don't know. Okay. We talked a little bit the other day about this, but this sort of global revolution is going to take keeping our military bases in all of these places. And doing that is going to mean there aren't going to be less wars.
Yeah, I think it's probably not wise to promise that internet, like especially socialist revolution, won't result in threat of war or nuclear war.
It's probably the same threat that we have now.
It might be worse.
I don't know. We're kind of in a bit of a death spiral where a lot of people are very angry at America right now. And you don't need a whole country to build a nuke anymore. An organization could do it.
If you built a working class movement for socialism in the United States, there would definitely be countries that wanted to stop you, powers that wanted to stop that from happening.
Maybe oddly enough, it would probably still be Russia.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Reverse Cold War.
The socialists are still trying to kill the Tsar. They thought they did it in 1905.
God damn it. He is a fucking czar. Putin is a czar.
Yeah, it's kind of like a neo-Tsarism or whatever.
Yeah, it is. It really
but like, yeah, yeah, look, I just don't think that there's much point in promising that like you're going to be just someone who encourages people to put their guns down. Like I will say, don't pick up your gun for the capitalist state,
Yeah.
But if it means workers taking power in their own governments for the purpose of proletarian power, I'm for that kind of thing, you know?
Yeah, but I don't know. I think what I said earlier about needing global power still is going to be very controversial among socialists.
Why?
Well, it's basically like the Trotsky argument.
Yeah, I mean, people think it's like a little bit chauvinist. People think it's like, oh, you just want to impose your idea of socialism on the rest of the world. And it's like, well, my thought on that is like, hopefully they agree with me, first of all. And I don't.
Hopefully their workers also would like some power.
Yeah, and look, I mean, I frankly, I see it as a little bit strange that other people on the left are not willing to see. Like, to me, it's almost as though they're not willing to see these parties as capable of bargain, exchange, or participation in global production and consumption. And to me, that's like racist.
You think it's racist to say that we shouldn't have military bases in these countries?
No, I'm saying that. Well, okay, I don't look. My position is not that like the capitalist state needs military bases. My position is that the international proletarian socialists need military bases in all of these countries. Okay, that's
But they will be the same bases.
Yeah, yes. It's not like. I mean, why would we build new ones?
Run by different people, yeah.
If the old ones are still there, why would we build new ones, right?
Mhm.
And the purpose of these bases, right, is to enforce the will of the proletariat.
But that creates a wedge between the U.S. and other governments.
As a socialist, I'm not here to ally with capitalist states. I'm here to ally with workers trying to take power from their capitalist states.
I'm not saying it's a bad idea. I'm saying, how does it happen?
Through organization. We talk.
That's certainly why we do this.
The factory on one side of the world that relies on materials from the other side of the world, those workers exchange the necessary information to be able to control the dynamics of their production, you know, as well as
a lot of leather comes from the U.S. because we eat a lot of beef.
As well as the dynamics of taking power, though. Imagine, for example, I'm trying to think of a country, let's say the UK. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
You have some sort of socialist party, like functional socialist party in the United States that like is taking power to the point where they're able to like deploy the United States military in service of the dictatorship of the proletariat. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's say the movement is built up to that point. And in the UK, for example, the proletarian struggle is at a critical moment.
Mm-hmm.
The workers in the UK can dial up the American workers and say, hey, send your boys in. And then we do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's
wars, though. That's a war.
100% it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's not
and it's not just the UK, it's everywhere that happens.
Yeah, it's terrifying. That should terrify you.
Yeah. But that's what it takes.
That is what it would take.
I mean, like, maybe it's fatalist, but like a lot of our generation does believe we're just permanently screwed because there's no option. So the option has to be, you know, a significant change. You know, like most people couldn't just, I don't know.
Look, and
like
a lot of these problems,
the way to fix this is not comfortable.
No, and a lot of these problems that we have, these minute problems like the buses or the houses or whatever, there's no reason to expect that they would immediately be solved.
Yeah.
just because the workers are now in power, because the workers now have to figure that shit out.
Yeah, I mean, people point to like the bread lines under the USSR.
Yeah, but look, the workers are the only class that is for material, for the reasons of their own material interest. They're the only class that's capable of figuring out how to change our productive system from that which is just like the regime of the accumulation of capital to the bureaucratic management of things, or whatever Engels said. I forget what he said.
We got a deep dive on Engels soon. We might have to make an actual video for that.
I think we should work on a video essay on. We were talking about. Should I divulge for our audience our
Go for
future
it.
plans?
All 10 viewers.
We're well, the recording's at an hour. It'll probably cut down to like 48 minutes or something at this point. But I'll just we're gonna chill out now. We're gonna take it easy and just tell you our plans. We were talking about doing a video essay on Engels' Principles of Communism, because it's a pretty easy text to engage with, and thought that might be good. I think that's a good idea. I also
people often say that Engels can be a little bit I guess dense because he draws in a lot of references and he's informed by a lot of different cultures. I mean, he wrote stuff in like 3 different languages.
If you ask, and he could. Oh man, he's a really remarkable person, right? Like Frederick Engels, like pretty interesting and remarkable human. He's the son of like a factory owner, and he observes, people in the factory sort of like struggling and dealing with things, and so he decides to like research it. He writes a whole book about the condition of the working class in England, and that's sort of how he meets Marx, and things go from there. But he was probably one of the most educated men of his time.
Yeah, and very few people fluently spoke more than a couple languages.
And he was also like current on issues of biology and anthropology. I mean, some of that stuff was racist, but like he knew
Anthropology especially.
Yeah, definitely. But he knew all about it, and he was like on it.
And having the interest for it does not make you racist, even back then. Being an anthropologist saying, look how the indigenous people do XYZ leads to racism. But it's the study of wondering how folks in the Caribbean get stuff done is not a racist thought.
Anthropology is not a racist subject. That would be insane to say.
Yeah.
I think people's true, but
I took an anthropology class in college about the Caribbean post colonialism, colonialism, and I just like my teacher was like from the Caribbean, and it was great to have like that sort of insight of how people from there felt about colonialism. I don't know. There are ways to do anthropology that involve learning from people instead of observing them as an animal.
Yeah, I was thinking that we could do an episode on, or not an episode. I was thinking that we were talking about doing a video essay on Engels' Principles of Communism. I think like something more that might be more important for us to look at might be Socialism, Utopian, and Scientific by Engels.
I've been meaning to read that. I started it and I was enjoying it.
That one, I mean, that's probably the most in the 19th century, that was probably the most well-read text on socialism. And then if you were in like the Second International, like with Lenin and those guys, you were also definitely 100% reading this book. I sort of think, So I don't know. We'll have to talk about that. Maybe drop a comment. Would you prefer that we cover Principles of Communism by Frederick Engels, or would you prefer that we cover Socialism, Utopian, and Scientific? Maybe we'll do one or the other or both, depending on y'all's responses. Yeah. All right. Thanks for listening, everyone, and we'll see you next time.
Yeah,
Bye.
great talking. Peace.
Yeah.
You don't want the war. We don't want the war, so why does it go on? Sounds like you're talking about a wild animal.
Maybe I am. But this thought was a nuclear bomb. My most terrifying words in the English language are, I'm from the government and I'm here to help. I call upon all nations to stop these terrorist killers. My race is dry.
I don't know what's wrong with you young people. You think you just fell out of a coconut tree?
It depends upon what the meaning of the word is.
Russia, Russia, Russia.
That was all
Bullshit.
You can jail a revolutionary, but you can't jail a revolutionary.
Well, it comes down to there's freedom in the United States that there isn't in any other country. And it's the freedom to produce a socialist movement or a socialist party that doesn't exist elsewhere. And why don't you have one? I'm trying.